Wow, that is the taste of Greece right there. So today we are traveling to Greece. Yes, I'm taking you on a journey right here to Greece. We are making some gyros. And gyros, as it's pronounced, not gyro or gyro or euro, it's gyro is how they say it here in Greece. Now, the gyro is essentially, it's like a fast food. Here in Greece, you can generally get a euro for like $3 or $4. And it's a delicious snack comprised of a flatbread, and then inside you have shaved meat. So traditionally you would have either pork or chicken, and then you would have French fries, some tzatziki, so that garlic and cucumber sauce, tomatoes and onions, and then it's all wrapped up and ready to go. So today, of course, we're making a completely plant-based variety, and we're doing a vegan chicken variety. And of course, we're not using chicken, but we're going to be using some tofu as our meat. And I'm going to show you how to spice that and give it the flavor and look of the gyro meat. Now, for this recipe, you will also need to prepare your dough for your pita bread. Here in Greece, I can get pita bread quite easily, of course, because it's common here, but I know around the world where you are, you probably won't be able to find it, and making it yourself is so much more delicious. And in this class, you'll learn how to make it by hand, and it's a no-knead bread, so it's super easy to make. So make sure you go ahead and prepare that now. In addition to your tzatziki, so I've already got that ready as well. So now all I have to do is start preparing our gyro chicken meat. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have my tofu here. Now I'm using like a medium firm tofu, and I always like to press my tofu for about 15 minutes just to draw some of that moisture out. So I'm just gonna go in with some paper towel, or you can use like a lint-free tea towel. And I'm using 2 packs today. This is gonna be enough for 4 people. So I've just got a chopping board underneath. We've got our towel or tea towel on top, another board, and then we need something heavy to go on there. So I've just got a big stack of bowls, and I'm just gonna pop that on there and just set that aside for about 10 minutes. I just wanna draw out some of that moisture, so when we do create our marinade, it can infuse into the tofu as opposed to just being on the outside. So we're gonna set that aside. Let's take one of those bowls. Now we're gonna put in our seasoning or our marinade for our gyros. Now we want to make it a chicken flavor, so we are utilizing the chicken spice mix that we made. So I'm going to pop that into my bowl, and that's got all those common spices traditionally paired with chicken that give it a nice chicken flavor. We also have a little bit of water as well, and this is just to kind of create that marinade. We have some extra virgin olive oil. We have a little bit of sweetness, so instead of using honey, I'm using a vegan honey alternative. I'm actually using maple syrup today, but you can use any kind of liquid sweetener. And then for our spices, I have some cumin. A lot of these spices in the Greek cuisine actually come from Turkey as well. We also have some smoked paprika. Now, if your smoked paprika is really strong, you might want to reduce the quantity or use some sweet paprika instead. I have some oregano, some thyme. We have garlic powder, or you can use fresh garlic, up to you. I have a little bit of curry powder. We have some mustard powder. And I've also got some chili flakes, or you can use some hot paprika if you like a little bit of spice. Okay, now let's whisk all of that together. Beautiful. Now we've got that lovely sauce, that marinade that all of our tofu is going to marinate in. I'm just going to set that aside while our tofu is pressing. So coming back to our tofu that we've been pressing, it's been pressing for about 10-15 minutes. So let's take a look. So you'll see that those towels have got quite a lot more wet. And the whole purpose of us pressing the tofu is to draw out as much moisture as possible. So when we do put it in that marinade, it's gonna suck it all up. If you've ever seen the gyro meat, it's generally shaved. So it's on a big stick in a rotisserie, and then it's shaved with a special machine. So we're gonna create that kind of shaved look for our tofu, creating it like a chicken gyro. And there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can get a knife and just cut it very thinly, or you can also use one of these. You can use a mandolin. So I'm gonna use the mandolin today, and you wanna set it fairly thin. I would say like maybe 2 millimeters or so. Sort of that, not too thin that it's gonna break too much, but not too thick either. And then we get these nice strips. Now we just want to toss everything together so it gets all nicely coated. And I'm just going to pop some cling wrap over the top and put this into my refrigerator for at least an hour. And as mentioned, you can prepare this a day ahead of time if you would like as well. So gyros always have French fries inside. Of course, you can buy the frozen variety and just use those, but I'm going to be making some fresh ones today. And we're very lucky here in Naxos that the potatoes are grown locally and they're absolutely delicious. I've just peeled these potatoes and I'm going to cut them into some French fries now. We're going to parboil them first, and then you can fry them or bake them. Now we're just going to cover these with plenty of water. So I'm probably putting, I don't know, a couple of teaspoons in. And we're gonna bring this to a boil. As soon as they start boiling, we're actually gonna take them out. So our potatoes have just started boiling. We're gonna turn the heat off. And we wanna strain these. And I like to put them on some paper towel just for them to drain and to dry out. So I'm just gonna set that aside until they are draining and just cooling down, and we can do other things. So I have my pita dough. It's been in the fridge overnight, and this was our no-knead pita. So easy to make, and it's already developed our gluten and ready to start cooking. Now today, this will make 4 large pitas or 6 kind of medium-sized ones. I only want to cook 2 of them today, so you can prepare a lot of these components to this recipe separately and then just make them as you need it. The dough will last in the fridge for a few days. So I'm just going to tip the whole thing out, and I'm going to cut it up, just what we need. So I'm just taking half of my dough out. We can put the rest back. So I can pop this back into the fridge and use it tomorrow. Now it is quite a wet and sticky dough. Don't worry too much about that. We're going to use a little bit of flour. So I'm going to cut this in half so we have 2 pitas. And I just want to get this into a ball. So I've just flipped it over and I'm sort of just tucking all of the sides into the middle. And then we'll flip that back over. And then just roll it into a ball. And we're going to do the same with the other one. So that flat side we're going to flip over and then just tuck the dough into the center. Flip it back over and then into a ball. I'm going to add a little bit of flour. So while we're rolling out our dough, I'm going to get our fry pan on. And you want it sort of at a medium heat. You don't want it too hot. So we'll put a little bit of flour down. We don't want to put tons and tons of flour. And we're just going to roll this out. And to get a nice circle, you want to just sort of start from the middle and then make your way out and turn the dough as you go. If you're getting a lot of resistance from the dough, you can just let it rest for a few minutes and then come back to it. Just making sure it's not sticking. And I'd say it's about a 2 millimeter thickness. Brush with a little bit of olive oil if you would like. So while that one's cooking, I'm going to roll out the next one. And I have a nice big tea towel here that I'm going to put my pita bread inside just to keep it nice and warm and soft. Alrighty, these are looking amazing. So I'm just going to pop that onto our plate here. Put it in our tea towel to keep that nice and warm. Now we have our French fries, and I'm just going to bake all of these. So just to make them a little bit healthier, I'm going to bake them in the oven just with a little bit of olive oil and salt. And I'm going to bake these probably for like 20 minutes or so. We'll just keep an eye on them until they're nice and crisp. You could do it in your air fryer, or you can also deep fry these as well. All right, I'm going to get these going in now. Now that we have our French fries in the oven and we have our pita bread ready, I'm going to start frying off our vegan gyro meat. And of course, we prepared this earlier. It's our vegan chicken gyro. And I'm going to cook up about half of it. I'm just serving 2 portions today. And I'm just using the same pan that I cooked my pita in. So we want kind of like a fairly high heat. I'm going to do half of this. There is already some olive oil in the marinade, but you can add a little bit more if you would like. So I just pulled my French fries out of the oven. They're lovely and golden. And we have all the other bits and pieces for our gyro, which is our sliced fresh tomato and onion. We have our pita that we made earlier, still nice and warm. So we have all our bits and pieces ready to go. I've fried up my vegan chicken, and we have our pita bread all ready. I'm going to first go in with our tzatziki sauce, and you can see how thick it is. It's so good. I'm putting a decent amount in there. And then of course our chicken. Some fresh tomato. You can do a little salt and pepper if you would like on your tomato. And of course our French fries. And you can put a bit of onion on there if you would like to. And that's essentially a gyro. These are really large ones, so you can make smaller ones as well, but I wanted to make some big ones today. And traditionally these would be wrapped up in paper. So let's wrap this one in paper so it looks like an authentic gyro. We have our Greek gyro. So there we have it, guys. That is our Greek chicken gyro, vegan of course, and you can see the beautiful textures from the pita bread to our shaved tofu, which we turned into chicken with all of those spices. Such packed full of flavor. Don't they look fantastic? So let's get trying this. I'm very curious to give it a go. Everything together, all our hard labor. Wow, that is the taste of Greece right there.